How's it going, everybody? So in this section, we're going to talk about how different sessions, they influence different time frames. Now, before we get into the depth of that, we have to understand this one thing. When do we have big candles forming, right? What are the times when we have big candles forming? Because as we've discussed before, the bigger candles are only going to form when there's going to be volume in the market. Let it be the 4-hour candle, the 1-hour candle, 30-minute candle, 15-minute candle, whatever candles there are, right? The bigger candles are only going to form when you have volume in the market. We have to understand this one thing. So now, what we're going to talk about is going to be the 4-hour candles, and we're also going to talk about which sessions influence the 4-hour candles, because the 4-hour candles obviously have to be bigger. And we've also talked about that whenever you're trying to take a trade, you have to make sure that a candle is going to be a bigger candle. If you're missing out on those trades, you have to understand that, okay, when did this big candle form? Did this big candle form because there was volume in the market? Did this big candle form because there was a market open, pre-market open? Was there any news events at that time? Was there any breaking news happening? Sometimes you're going to have bigger candles form when there's going to be no volume in the market, right? Before the market opens, before even the pre-markets open, that's going to happen. So once we get into this, you're going to understand that how sessions are going to influence your time frame. Then specifically, we're going to talk about the 4-hour time frames. Okay, to start this off, we know that there are 6 4-hour candles in one daily candle. So we're going to write them down right over here. So we have the first 4-hour candle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? So we have 6 4-hour candles, and these 6 4-hour candles, they make the overall daily candle, right? Now, whenever we're looking at the 4-hour candles, we understand that not all 6 4-hour candles are going to be bigger candles, because some 4-hour candles are going to be smaller, some 4-hour candles are going to be bigger, right? And we also understand that if we have one daily candle, which looks like this, a bigger one, we understand that maybe there were only like 2 4-hour candles that made the daily candle bigger. Maybe there were 3 4-hour candles that made the daily candle bigger. So these things we have to understand. So we're going to talk about which sessions influence these 4-hour candles. Now, let's take a look at the first one. Now we need to understand when this first 4-hour candle starts. The first 4-hour candle normally starts at around 5 p.m. and goes till 9 p.m. Eastern time, right? We're only talking about Eastern time right here. The first 4-hour candle starts at 5 p.m., goes all the way up towards 9 p.m. Eastern time. Now, we have the second 4-hour candle. Now, once we're looking at the first one, which sessions fall in this first 4-hour candle? It's very simple. Which sessions fall in the first 4-hour candle? It's your pre-Asian and your Asian open. These are the 2 sessions that fall in the first 4-hour candle. Now, sometimes we do have the 4-hour candle, the first one, which is a bigger candle, right? That's when we can say, okay, what? Maybe in the Asian session, there was a lot of volume, and maybe that volume really pushed the 4-hour candle. Now, next one, next 4-hour candle, it starts at 9 p.m., goes all the way up towards 1 a.m. Eastern. What's this time? Do we normally have volume during this time right here? Do we have volume during this time? Probably not. We don't normally have volume at this time. So normally, most of the times when you take a look at your charts, you're going to understand that this 4-hour candle is mostly a small candle, right? A small candle because there's no volume at that time. The 1-hour time frames are consolidating. The 30-minute time frames are consolidating. That's why we always talk about that. Always make sure you're taking a trade when there's volume in the market, right? After this, we have the next 4-hour candle, and this 4-hour candle starts at 1 a.m., goes all the way up towards 5 a.m. Eastern. Now tell me which session falls in this 4-hour candle. You have your pre-London. So in this session right here, in this 4-hour candle, you have your pre-London and your London open. These are the two sessions that fall within this 4-hour candle. So normally when you're going to take a look at this 4-hour candle around this time, you're going to notice that this 4-hour candle is going to be a bigger candle. It's regardless the fact that maybe the 1-hour candle printed the 4-hour candle bigger, or one 30-minute candle made a 4-hour candle bigger, but the fact is that most of the time during this time right here, 1 a.m. and 5 a.m., you're going to see that the volume is going to be in this 4-hour candle. So the point is, when you're trying to make a trading plan, right? Whenever you're trying to make a trading plan, you have to choose that which time frame you're going to choose to trade. This is very, very, very important. The most important aspect. Next, we have from 5 a.m. We have 5 a.m. all the way into 9 a.m. Eastern. We have another 4-hour candle. Now you need to understand that which session falls within this 4-hour candle. And the answer is simple. You have your pre-New York and you have your New York Open. You have two sessions, high volume sessions, but also don't forget that these two 4-hour candles are the most volatile 4-hour candles. The most amount of volume that's in the market lies between these two 4-hour candles. And sometimes, there's a lot of volume in this 4-hour candle as well. So let's talk about that here first as well. So this 4-hour candle, we have 9 a.m. going all the way towards 1 p.m. Now, which sessions fall in this 4-hour candle? Let's talk about that. We have the NYSE Open, and we have London Close in this 4-hour candle. Let's talk about the last one. This last 4-hour candle, we have from 1 p.m. all the way till 5 p.m. And normally there's not enough volume in this 4-hour candle. So because, price is consolidating, London is closed, Asian is closed, we're coming up to a close of the New York session. So normally there's no volume, and normally I don't see anyone trading at this time. So the only bigger volume time frames, or the only bigger volume sessions we have, they lie between these three 4-hour candles. We have 1, 2, and 3. So whenever you're creating a trading plan, you have to understand that, okay, which 4-hour candle am I going to focus on? Am I going to focus on the third 4-hour candle, which is where you have your pre-London and London Open? Am I going to focus on the fourth 4-hour candle or the fifth 4-hour candle? Because that's the idea, because you're only looking to trade when there's volume in the market. Because trust me, whenever you're focused on, because, okay, here's the thing. You're only trading one 1-hour candle or one 30-minute candle. And we've talked about that in breaking down the high time frames and the lower time frames. But right over here, we're only talking about how sessions are going to influence your 4-hour time frames, how sessions influence your time frames. So whenever I'm looking for a trade, I'm looking at where the next 4-hour candle is going to go. If I see that I have consolidation happening on the second 4-hour candle, I automatically understand that, okay, if we have consolidation happening on the second 4-hour candle, maybe the third 4-hour candle is going to be the move. Maybe the third 4-hour candle will move price where it has to go. So you have to visualize how the third 4-hour candle is going to form. And then you try to understand that, okay, you know what, the third 4-hour candle, it has my pre-London and my London Open. So maybe there's going to be a lot of volume coming in from these time frames. So I have to be ready to anticipate where the 4-hour candle is going to go. If there's no volume during these times, then the 4-hour candle basically isn't that big of a candle. Then you're trying to see that, okay, we probably consolidated, or let's say we had volume during Asian 4-hour candle, and then we had no volume during this time, and then all of a sudden, the pre-London and London Open 4-hour candle starts to consolidate right here. So maybe we're going to have volume in the fourth 4-hour candle, which falls in pre-New York and New York Open, right? So whenever you're trying to see when you're going to trade, you're trying to anticipate where the 4-hour candle is going to go depending on which session you're looking at. So whenever you're trying to make a trading plan, or whenever you're trying to see that which time you're going to trade, you have to focus on just one 4-hour candle. That's what I've done. That's what I've done for the past 5 years, 6 years. Only focused on one 4-hour candle. And we've talked about this a lot of times. Whenever you have a candle moving, there are billions of dollars moving in that candle. So your job is to just scratch the surface of that candle. Hope this helps. We're going to move on to the next section. Take care.